Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello. My
It is
goodness.
Pixel Partners here.
That threw me off. I'm like, when's the hello gonna end?
Oops. And welcome back to The Greatest Journey. When we left off.
Like, there were a lot of L's in there.
Yes, there was. When we left off, we're here. We're having a party in Nikamina's room.
Yeah.
And we've met.
She's just like, what are you all doing here?
We've met a friend that was a snake, but it's not the snake that was Nikamina's friend, because Nikamina's friend wasn't a snake at all. It turns out there was a kitty named Blackie, which is cute. And then the speckled band wasn't actually a speckled band or a snake. It was a cat toy that was used to bring the cat back over.
Which I never would have guessed in a million years.
No.
I guess like the beginning was like a red herring. It's like, oh, speckled band, it's a snake. And then we're just like, oh, there's the snake. What's it gonna be? And then we're like, oh wait, there was a kitten.
It was a kitty. All right, so now we have to get down to the fact that this was a cat. Can't really be poisonous fangs of a kitten that caused the death. So let's go into the courtyard of the death.
I don't want to see that anymore. Stop
How and why was the victim robbed of his life? From the information I have, the corpse did not show a single trace of external injuries. Indubitably, the truth behind the victim's death lies in the deadly poison.
Mr. Holmes must be right. It is true that Kazuma did not have any external wounds.
Yes, but it looks like there's some information that Mr. Holmes isn't aware of.
Oh, yeah.
So he didn't die from poison.
That certainly appears to be the case. Let's tell him about that information.
It would be in the autopsy report / what do they call it?
The postmortem.
There we go.
You're used to looking for the words autopsy report.
Yeah.
Hey.
Indubitably, the truth behind the victim's death lies in this postmortem. I just knew it had to be one or the other.
That sounded like Hosonaga.
Whoops.
Oh, his neck?
The only person who could have lived with a broken neck could be that sailor over there. No, I'm pretty sure Mr. Stroganoff is human too. Anyway, the victim had his neck broken. If that is indeed a fact, it is possible that the crime scene still contains hints about the murder.
You lie.
Indubitably, examining the corpse will prove his cause of death. So he died from a broken neck. I suppose that means he would have been struck.
That is certainly possible. However, as of yet, we still have not found any potential weapons.
And it's unlikely that the trespassing kitten struck him.
Yeah. Or perhaps, if he had toppled over and taken an unlucky fall, if unfortunate enough, that could very well have broken his neck.
You might be right. Toppled over, huh?
However, this is Kazuma we are talking about. It is difficult to believe that he could have been so clumsy.
Regardless, we'll have to make the right change. Just where could the remaining trace of Isogi's death be? Oh, we're in the evidence.
Shoe polish?
Yeah.
Aha, I was right.
Indubitably, examining the floor markings will last prove the cause of death. There really were traces left over. Traces of shoe polish on the floor.
Shoe polish?
I examined it with my own homemade analysis machine that I carried around for fun.
That I carry around for fun.
Beeswax, tallow, and dye. The composition matches of the shoe polish perfectly. Furthermore, the color of the shoe polish is the same as Isogi's leather boots. But looking at these traces, you can accurately guess what had happened. It's likely that something caused him to lose his footing and tumble over.
No.
He must have then unfortunately suffered a severe impact on his neck and he fell into the floor. The instant the victim took that fatal injury to the cervical vertebrae, he took his last breath.
No! I am knowing nothing. Nothing at all.
Is that really true? When the victim perished, a certain piece of evidence remained on the scene. Indeed, now then. You must have desperately tried to hide that damning piece of evidence, didn't you? Indubitably, your line of sight leads straight to the location of concealment. The evidence of this terrible murder is hidden within your trunk.
Nope. No. Kazuma died because he tripped over and fell? Is that all? That must be a lie. I refuse to believe such a thing.
There's no denying that the traces on the floor show exactly that.
Yeah. Well, yes, but...
Plus, according to Mr. Holmes' theory, Nikomina tried to hide any evidence of the incident. The lies in this cabin directly in Nikomina's line of sight.
Just where did Nikomina hide it?
Let's investigate this thoroughly. The answer must be here. Alright, so what all do we have? Because we got the trunk, obviously.
We can turn,
Spin.
don't forget, yeah.
I know. Is it going to be in the waste paper bin?
But we've looked in there so many times.
Maybe it's buried in there. Maybe the other piece of the bell is going to... Okay, it's just trunk again. It's just... That's the only other thing that we can push, because I can't...
That's what I thought when she looked over there, because I knew it wasn't the trunk.
Oh, wait, the tiara is also a thing. It's hiding behind this angle.
Oh.
Wait. Didn't the tiara have, like, purple jewels on it?
Yeah, why?
And there's a purple bell that's on the floor. That's really out of place.
Oh, well, that's you.
Oh, looks like someone forgot their 20,000 rubles over here.
Rather than forgot, I believe they were left there intentionally.
She's beginning to think just like Mr. Holmes.
Please don't compare me to the great detective. No.
Because, I mean, the only other thing that would be is the waste bin. But there's not really... We've looked at the waste bin twice, and I don't think there's anything going on here.
This is the cabin's waste paper bin.
You can only boarded just last night. So I doubt there'd be much rubbish piled in there. Oh, there's the bell. Wait, this is...
A piece of glass?
I can't quite put my finger on it. But I feel like I've seen this somewhere before.
I don't think it's just your imagination.
That wasn't in there before, so I don't want to hear it. Every time we looked in there before, it was empty, and I was just sitting there on the top.
Well, there was like trash in there, but that's it.
The evidence you took with the victim, the evidence that you took the victim's life is hidden within your waste paper bin.
Ah.
I've seen this beautiful piece of glass somewhere before. Indubitably, take this fragment that was found on the floor of Asogi's cabin and... like so, it fits perfectly. Come now, Miss Nikomina, would you kindly explain yourself? Why is it that a piece of a broken glass found at the scene of the crime is in your cabin's waste paper bin?
Ah!
I'm sure you're familiar with this glass bell.
Oh, did it come from a collar, maybe?
I was thinking that when I first saw that, when I realized there was a cat and I saw the bell fragment, I was like, oh, is it like a little collar ding-ling-ling?
That is...
Your trademark I am knowing nothing won't work here. Now, if you're wondering why, there's decisive evidence that proves your connection to it.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that right, Master Naruhodo? Yes. This piece of evidence that links Nikomina to the glass bell. Let me guess. Was it on the cat in the picture? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, there we go.
This big bell.
Right, everything's still working? Sure hope so. Our voice is about to go in robot-y, but I don't know. Oh boy.
Oof.
Love this computer. It's clearly depicted in this photograph. Hang from Blackie's neck is none other than the very same glass bell. Miss Nikomina, you can no longer run. The victim fell onto the cabin floor and lost his life in a terrible twist of fate. And that fated fall...
These two.
had something to do with your friend Blackie. Did he like... Did he like... slip on the bell or something? Did the bell come off the cat and he like slipped on it and then knocked his neck on something and died?
Well, anyone who's ever owned a cat knows that sometimes, you know, you're out and about, you're at night, cat, especially if you have a dark cat in the light, there's not a lot of good lighting. They like to walk right between your legs sometimes when you're not looking.
You right.
And they scare the crap out of you.
You right.
And you just like that might have been what happened.
You right. Seems like Blackie's definitely involved.
Yeah. Like I have almost fallen trying to avoid stepping on a cat before. Like it's just let alone one that you don't know is there.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, I could not say this. Sorry.
Tripped over kitten.
Boom. Gotta be more careful around my cat.
Don't die.
For real.
Elementary. Hey. All right, deduction done now.
God, something so common is how he died. In a very uncommon way.
Yeah. Nikamina, please, we need you to tell us. What exactly happened last night?
It was last night, hour after midnight, when I gave Blackie meal. He went mad and ran away from me.
I've heard that cats become very nervous when placed in a new environment.
Yes. Kitty disappeared into air duct, then...
So it was then that your hand was scratched?
Yes. I know ship regulations cannot bring Kitty on ship.
Animals carry pathogens that can spread diseases. It's too frightening to allow.
So I listened to cabin next door. Was very quiet. Probably is sleeping, I think.
And so you tried to call back the kitten in secret, didn't you? You tried waving Blackie's cat toy through that air duct.
It always brings Blackie back, but this time... I use toy, I whistle, but Blackie does not return.
So that low whistle Sogi heard was meant to call back the kitten. I hear that kitty cats will hide on the cover and refuse to come out if they're afraid.
Yes, that is very accurate. Had no choice but to wait for Kitty to calm down. Then...
Uh-oh.
I thought heart stopped. Suddenly heard loud voice, then a huge sound. And then heard nothing else.
Asogi. Judging from the marks left on the floor of the crime scene, the victim most likely stepped on the glass bell when he lost his footing. Although the All Clear may be a colossal ship, it can swing around with incredible force. It could be that he was falling, a nervous kitten had wrapped itself around his feet.
Yep.
As these continuous unfortunate incidents piled up, he could do little to prevent his fall.
I can't believe such a badass died in such a horrible way.
In any case, what happened with the kitten afterwards?
Later, he responded to my calls and returned from air duct.
Well, the little Blackie's nowhere to be seen right now.
Forgot to lock that trunk. Kitty wandered off again.
Good grief, that kitty cat is restless as I am. That's not possible.
No.
So he's aware that he's restless.
He's self-aware. Morning came. I heard that man next door is dead. But I could not say this. If people know truth about me, I have to go back. That scares me.
Oh, if that's all true, then what about the snake?
Yeah.
That's right. If it isn't Nikamina's friend, then why? Why is such an extremely dangerous animal aboard this ship? Oh, forgot to mention the snake. His friend, you'll see. Name is Piroshko.
Piroshko?
What? What? You're saying that's your snake?
He's patting it.
It escaped from cage during alarm ruckus earlier. I was looking for it. But was here all along? Ha! Just how did it escape in the first place? However...
Did it eat the kitten?
Isn't it forbidden to carry animals aboard this ship? We are sailing together for over a year now, yes. Such good friends cannot be teared apart. I wonder if he has any other friends. Real friends, anyway.
Oh my god.
Look here, Mr. Sailor. It's a big venomous snake of all things. Who would like that sort of thing? It is not venomous. What? See Piroshko here. He's long but harmless of man or animal. What an adorable friend.
Is long but harmless.
Harmless? He's just grumpy from hunger right now. Give food to bring back cuteness.
Give food to bring back cuteness.
By food, do you mean things like milk and such? Such a snake exists only in fairy tales. Piroshko love mice, round fat mice. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but that mouse trap along the cabin corridor is... Yes, it is trapped to catch Piroshko's favorite food. Wow, circle life is pretty harsh. My.
Dude, you okay?
It doesn't drink, it whistles, climb cowbells, even inject venom. Indeed, one could say the fellow doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Who
the hell cares? You do not yell at me again. Anyway, Piroshko does nothing to do with the incident. So this is the truth behind Asogi's death.
They're like, wow, that's anticlimactic.
It's like, but where's the murder? Where's the...
It's an accidental death. Nikomina Borsovich. I understand that the position you have been put in is rough, and I sympathize with you. However, that said, should you take a man's life and lie in hopes of escaping your final punishment, you would be purely despicable no matter how dire your circumstances may be. Huh?
What are you trying to say? Has none of the mystery just been clearly unravelable for us?
No, the writing.
Everything was hinged on an unfortunate off-chance accident.
The writing wouldn't make sense.
He's just like, go girl.
Yeah. I'm not able to see things as well as Mr. Holmes can, but I know for a fact this cannot be the truth. I don't think so either.
No.
What do you think, Naruhodo?
Honestly, I had the same feeling.
Like, it just doesn't sit right.
There's something out of place in Nikomina's words. Go on, Julie. Let me be honest. I had a thought to leave everything after this to Scotland Yard. What? There's only one reason why I'm investigating this incident. It's only because I couldn't bear to look at you, Master Naruhodo.
What?
You mean me? I was cast upon your hands simply bothered me to no end. God damn it! Again! But when did you do that? If only somebody had placed those handcuffs on you myself, you see. In any case, I thought to do something about it before the ship's docks in Hong Kong. Mr. Holmes. However, there was one thing that slipped my mind. The departed victim was a very dear friend to both of you. That's the truth, isn't it? Well, yeah.
Yeah, friend, yeah.
Soga was my best friend. He was the man who saved me.
Partner.
Then, the truth that lies beyond this point should be sought out by your very own eyes. My own eyes? The odd feeling I got from Nikomina's words. Perhaps if I pursue it, I might be able to find the truth.
I think she wrote that on the floor.
The true story behind your death will finally come to light.
Come back!
I understand. I'll give it a shot. That's the spirit of justice.
Oh my
Wrong
god.
game. Shit.
Naruhodo.
Now, shall we begin, Master Naruhodo? Yes, sir. Well then, let's start with the first issue. The victim's corpse within the locked cabin. Was that really a result of an accident, or perhaps it was not an accident at all? We should make this clear first. Well, as I was just saying, the kid went through the air duct and caused his fall. It was clearly an accident.
What the?
Wait, this isn't right. That line of thought is obviously flawed. Might I beg an explanation? That's right, it's slowly becoming clearer. The contradiction behind Asogi's death is glaringly obvious. But Asogi's cabin holds decisive evidence to the contrary. His death was not a mere accident. What did you say? In that case, show me your so-called evidence. Show me the evidence that proves the death of the victim was not just an accident. The writing on the ground.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
For real, it wouldn't just be there.
It's clearly shown in this photograph. Okay. It would have been impossible for Asogi to write that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that writing's in Russian, isn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Precisely. It means wardrobe. Would have been natural if his dying message was in Japanese. However...
What if he learned Russian? Russian is easy. Surprisingly easy.
I kind of doubt that.
It's not surprisingly easy. I can attest to this.
Oh, whatever the case, it doesn't matter. What do you mean? As I said before, it was impossible for Asogi to have left that message. And the reason for that is clearly written here. Instant death from trauma to the cervical vertebrae.
Like when you break your neck, you're dead.
Yeah, that's one of those things where when it happens, your body just kind of...
It just stops.
Pretty much.
Your body just stops.
Because, your neck is essentially the epicenter of, your nervous system.
What connects your brain to the rest of you.
Yeah, and once you mess that up, people that survive from that are pretty much mostly vegetables from there on, as horrifying as that may be, but...
Like, sadly, they may as well have died.
Yeah,
because they can't do anything.
Yeah. Anyways, instant death. Yeah. In other words, he could not have written those words after falling to the floor. After all, he was already dead.
And that's not all. I recall one other issue regarding Kazuma's cabin. No matter how you look at it, the traces at the scene contradict an accidental death.
Really? So Susan noticed it too. Something that strikes me as odd, even putting aside the rest of the message. And that's the piece of evidence that proves it wasn't just an accident.
You alright?
I'm trying to think of what that may be. It's too soon for the ship's log, I think, but I don't know what evidence proves that it wasn't an accident. Because the do not open seal wouldn't make sense. Or is it that?
It can be... Oh, it is unknown if it can be read by any of the Russians.
I thought it was saying that it's unknown by Russian sailors, but
Which means that if she had done that, or I don't know, someone who knows both Russian and Japanese would to have had killed him.
Yeah, because someone would have to be able to point to the wardrobe to open it, which means they would know that.
Otherwise, why would they write wardrobe?
But is it too soon for that? Are we thinking ahead like we usually do?
Maybe, but
because it doesn't really.
What else would we? It's either the ship's log or.
That's what I'm thinking. Because the ship's log has that whole blankness throughout the whole night where he should have been watching. But if anything, that would put Stroganoff at.
The writing. We're talking about the writing right now, too.
I think it was leaving the writing after that part, because he was saying at the end it's not just the writing that is evidence right now. He essentially pointed to something else as well. But I don't know because they put the picture back up on the big screen. We can go for the seal for now and see if we're too far ahead.
Do you see where I'm going with it, though?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I wonder if we're too far ahead on that or just thinking too hard in general, which we like to do as well. Let's try. Please? What exactly is the meaning of this? It means the truth behind his death's coming to the surface. I can feel it. All that evidence proves is that you have quite an overactive imagination. Ow.
Oh, we just overthink.
Let's listen to this all again.
This was no mere accident. If you really believe that, consider your evidence carefully. If it really was an accident, then a certain something is missing from the scene. And conversely, a certain something that shouldn't exist is at the scene.
Indeed, she speaks the truth. Oh, I think I get it now. I don't get it.
It's something
Really?
at the scene.
You don't sound all that sure of yourself.
Don't worry, I believe in you. More than Mr. Holmes does, at least.
Ow. That's right. It's slowly becoming clear. The contradiction behind Asogi's death is glaringly obvious. So this can't be Holmes' decisive evidence of the contrary.
It's in his cabin.
Yeah, something that strikes me odd, even putting
So
aside
it's
the
not
Russian
the
message.
logbook.
No. It's something at the cabin. It's not that, because that was in the cabin. There's
No.
Asogi's journal, but that doesn't have anything to do with that. That's just that. Missing ballerina article wouldn't be it. The post-mortem. I mean, the only other thing in there is the floor markings.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess what it would be is why would the other half of the bell be in her room? She would have had to go in there to get it or something, so. Please? Hey! It's these marks on the floor here. But those couldn't be left behind by the glass bell that was split in two? Something that could have happened when the victim was falling over? Yes, that's right. If you think of it that way, there shouldn't be any problem. Unfortunately, there's one fatal flaw in your reasoning. What? If that was really the case, then answer me this.
Yep.
Why was the other half of the broken bell found in another cabin? No.
You called it.
Yeah.
The other half of the glass bell was found in this waste paper bin. Might you offer us an explanation, Nikomina?
Thus, the truth revealed by these two pieces of evidence can only be as follows. When Asogi died, he was not alone. Another person was in the cabin. Furthermore, that person tampered with the scene of the crime. All who escaped from the crime they committed.
When the incident occurred, there was another person present at the scene. Whoa.
Rubbish. Another person, you'll say. We already knew.
What do you mean, sir?
You were forgetting stowaway in cabin? Duh. When the exchange student died, another person was you.
Indeed, I was present in the cabin during that time.
To be more precise, he was stuffed inside that cabin's wardrobe.
But if I was the culprit, how would you explain the rest of the message left behind?
To be more precise, it's not that you didn't write it, but more likely you couldn't.
Excuse me, could you please shut up for a moment?
Oh my god!
Well, pardon me.
Anyway, the culprit wrote wardrobe on the floor in Russian.
I love that he said something that you would normally say. Could you please shut up for a
Yeah.
moment?
All in order to frame me sound asleep inside the wardrobe for this crime. Furthermore, they retrieved a piece of the glass bell lying on the floor. They removed it from the scene because it would become evidence of Kazuma's murder.
But if that were true, then there would be no point unless all the fragments were discarded. Half of it was left at the scene. Do you not find that strange?
Well,
The crime occurred a little past 1 a.m. The cabin's interior must have been rather dark. Light was provided by one small lamp. Little of it must have reached the floorboards. It wouldn't be unimaginable for the killer to have overlooked some glass.
Yeah. Everyone suspecting me.
Mr. Stroganoff. Now, oh my God, it makes so much sense. And it says, I'm not talking about the murder, by the way, even though that's starting to make sense. The reason why he has those lines on his face that he's had the whole time since we've met him is because of the snake on his face all the time. I don't know if you can see with your eyes, but I've noticed that there's like red stripes on his face and neck, and I'm like, why the hell does he look like that? And now I get it because the snake was on him. His snake likes to sit on his face all the time. So that's why he's got that there.
I've only thought it was shadows.
I can see that.
It just looks like lighting shading to me.
But now, I've like noticed it on his neck now, and it's obvious that it's from the Snape. Snape? Wrong. Not the right thing. Snake wrapping around his head.
Well, I also have bad eyes, so.
I know.
And the TV is across the room.
You're right. Anyways, we're going to see what Mr. Stroganoff has to say next time. And you know what?
I think they were both in on this.
I don't know. Because she just doesn't seem like, I mean, we've met people that are like, oh, they don't seem like a killer, but they always show that side of them, that killer side. But she doesn't seem like she would do anything like that.
No, she's just constantly jumpy and timid.
And especially since she's so afraid of her freedom. I don't think it would be her. So obviously the next person to suspect would be Mr. Stroganoff here.
I'm just wondering, what's the motive for killing Asogi? That's what I want to know.
That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing indeed.
She doesn't have motive to kill him. Yeah, the cat, but to kill? No.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't make sense.
She doesn't seem like the Dahlia type.
No. Well,
you can usually tell the Dahlia type.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.